The safety of the pilot and the life of the aeroplane depend on the reliability of the airframe and its engine. Freedom from breakdown can only be obtained by frequent and regular inspection. Efficient maintenance depends not only on the skill and diligence of the airmen, but on the interest and supervision shown by the officers and NCOs. So that the work may be done efficiently and quickly, a maintenance schedule has been prepared for each type of aeroplane. It describes the maintenance routine which is normally required. If anything needs attention that is not covered by the schedule, then it does not mean that the work may be neglected or postponed. This is so important that I shall read the actual Air Ministry instructions. The schedule is not to be interpreted as absolving any persons concerned from the responsibility of acquainting themselves with or acting upon any circumstances indicating the necessity for additional work. The schedule defines what is to be inspected more frequently than others. In this film, the daily inspection only is described. There are other inspections which must be made between flights, after every 30 hours, 60 hours, and 240 hours. For the purpose of reference, the aeroplane is divided into a number of assembly groups, each distinguished by reference letters, such as UC for undercarriage and PP for power plant. These groups are subdivided, each subdivision being given a number which denotes a specific operation. An aeroplane maintenance form is provided for each aeroplane. This is kept in the flight office. It is known as Form 700. On the inside covers are directions for use. The daily inspection certificate is printed inside. This certificate shows that the daily inspections have been duly completed. It is initialed by the flight rigger, flight mechanic, instrument repairer, wireless operator, electrician, and armorer. The flight NCO countersigns it, signifying that he is satisfied that all the inspections have been properly carried out. It is also countersigned by the pilot before the aeroplane leaves the ground. The middle page contains the change of serviceability and repair log, a record of all repairs, modifications, and replacements. The periodical inspection certificate refers to the 30-hour, 60-hour, and so on inspections. The aeroplane is taxiing in. You will note that the flight mechanic and flight rigger are going out to meet it. Owing to the pilot's restricted forward view when taxiing, on approaching the aprons round the hangars, these two members of the crew always assist the pilot by placing themselves at each wingtip and guiding him in the direction they want him to go. Refueling is always carried out immediately an aeroplane lands and before it is wheeled into the hangar. One reason for refueling immediately is that condensation in the petrol tanks is prevented. Any water in the petrol system might obviously be the cause of a serious accident. On no account may aeroplanes be refueled inside the hangar because of the danger of fire. The aeroplane's crew take charge and wheel it into the hangar. It is still considered serviceable and will remain so until 24 hours have elapsed since the last daily inspection. A between-flight inspection is carried out after every flight, the details of which are not entered on the maintenance form. flight mechanic is now seeing how much oil is in the oil tank. The oil level is determined by the position of the filler cap, which is so placed that it automatically provides sufficient airspace above it to allow for oil pumped out of the engine by the scavenge pump and for the expansion and frothing of the oil at high temperatures. And the flight mechanic fills up to the level of the cap. Normally, the undersurfaces of the main plane, the wheel recesses, and the oleo legs are cleaned each day with a clean rag to remove grit or mud which handicap the retraction of the undercarriage. Mud splashed up by the wheels is more difficult to remove after it is dry. Oil is easier to remove while the engine is still warm. Petrol must never be used for cleaning purposes. This film is intended to show how a typical daily inspection is carried out. In some units, it is more convenient to carry out the inspection in the evening. In others, part of the work is done in the evening and the remainder completed the following morning. In this squadron, the daily inspection is carried out in the early morning. Provided that inspection is carried out every 24 hours, latitude is allowed to units as to the time of the day at which the inspection may be carried out. A night bombing squadron will probably adopt a different routine from that of an Army cooperation squadron, in which the conditions are different. In this film, it's been necessary to show the flight mechanic, flight rigger, wireless operator, electrician, instrument repairer, and armourer carrying out their inspections separately. Normally, of course, they would all work at the same time. In an actual inspection, the airmen go round in an anti-clockwise direction, examining, as necessary, each part as it is arrived at. For the sake of clearness, this procedure has not been adopted in the film. Instead, the inspection in each case, such as UC or undercarriage, is completed before another group is started on. The time taken for a daily inspection will vary with the type of aeroplane and engine, but it shouldn't normally take more than 1 hour. Schedules are only issued for guidance, and the CO of a unit may adopt them as they stand or amend them or modify them to suit peculiar local conditions. The commanding officer takes care to avoid including items for inspection which are not essential to the proper maintenance of the aeroplane, because the inclusion of too many items may lead to attention being diverted from vital inspections to those of little or no importance.